Hello everybody, this is Conquering History Games and welcome to a new campaign on the channel. Today I'm playing some Hearts of Iron for Kaiserreich, with the new Alpha 0.8 Divided States now being released. So first thing I want to say is if you're watching this video, at the same time, 3 other Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich videos should have gone up at the same time of the 4 campaigns I want to initially do here in 0.8. All of them I will finish eventually. I just am going to sort of gauge, see which one people like the most, and that's the one I will prioritize, but I will eventually do them all. So this is the combined Syndicates of America playthrough, which promises to be very difficult because from what I was able to see when I was testing at least the beta version, the CSA is so freaking hard to win without some luck. But, you know, I'm up for the challenge. Also, I'm very excited about this particular campaign because I've had an idea for a combined Syndicates of America playthrough for, I want to say, almost a year. And I don't think I'm going to, as you'll see, I'm not going to be able to have time to talk about this at the end of the video, so I'm going to talk about it now. The idea was going to be that I'm going to sing folk songs and stuff at the end of every video that relate to the events of it, and that's because I noticed there's a lot of events, I don't know if it is now, but at least in the earlier version of the Combined Syndicates where it talked about Woody Guthrie and things like that. And I'm not a very good singer, but what I like about folk music is Bob Dylan has shown us that you don't actually have to be good at singing it for people to enjoy it. And so I've got a list, this huge list of songs that I'm gonna perform. Some of them are, of course, Cindy songs because they fit with the theme, but a lot of them are comedy songs. And I think that you guys, I think it's going to be fun. And you know what? I don't even care if you like it or not because I'm going to keep doing it. If you don't like it, then just go to the next episode when we get to that part of the video. So this also means that this particular campaign is going to upload a little bit slower, even if I do decide to make it the one I finish first, just because I'm going to have to edit it in the songs at the end of every episode. So, anyway, I hope you guys end up enjoying that. I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be silly, but I think it's gonna be fun. And so, anyway, we're gonna start playing as the United States of America. And thank you, Kaiserreich team. Only inform you about the major events, and welcome to our new home. Okay, so first things first. What are we going to do in terms of our focus tree? You know, we can only do the Air Force, the Navy stuff. I guess let's knock out the first Air Force one here. Let's move some things around. Now, we are going to be going for the CSA, and as I said, I really do believe that the CSA is the hardest nation to play as of the 4. It's probably closely followed by MacArthur's America. Now, this is just my opinion, but it's really, really tough. I'm just saying. You know, especially if Canada intervenes, it's probably all over. So let's bring our divisions over here into the United States. Let's just get everybody placed. As far as equipment, I don't know, just do that. Do I still have some open civilian factories? I guess, yeah. We're just building infrastructure, so this is only going to help me so much. We got some free dockyards. I don't know, build a ton of convoys or something. It's not like a navy ever helped in the war. All right. And what we are going to be doing is going after, I think mass assault is the way I want to go. But we're not going to do that just yet. Instead, we're going to, yeah, because I'm going to be pursuing different land doctrines in each of the 4 campaigns, the 4 American campaigns that I have up. Of course, we're going to always read this opening bit. The United States in 1936. In 1936, the United States of America is gripped by unrelenting crisis, although able to avoid the horrors of the First Weltkrieg, which allowed its prosperity to continue well into the 1920s. German victory in the First Weltkrieg, followed by the French and British revolutions, led to the Wall Street crash of 1925. This sent the United States spiraling into the Great Depression. It allowed the Berlin stock market to take its place at the forefront of the world economy. The election of Herbert Hoover in 1928, while initially promising, failed entirely to reverse the decline of the American economy. In 1936, the country had spent over a decade in the midst of the worst financial crisis it had ever seen. This fueled the rise of radical parties in America, from the far-left Socialist Party of America, which is now the Totalist, Syndicalists, and Radical Socialists, all combined, and the far-right America First Party, which is the authoritarian Democrats, the paternal autocrats, and the national populists. Hoover's contentious re-election by means of the House of Representatives in 1932 and the ongoing Great Depression means that these problems are unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. Many throughout the country fear the upheaval that will result should one of the extreme parties come to power or should the Depression continue unabated. God save America. Crime sweeps the nation. Oh yeah, so I don't think did I say it already? But so here's what I'm planning to be the 4 campaigns that are going to go up. Episode 1. We've got this one where I'm going to be doing a combined Syndicates of America run. There should be a MacArthur's America run. There's going to be a Pacific States of America run, and I'm also going to do a United States avoiding the Civil War, because a lot of people have mentioned that they want to see me do it. It's an unusual path, but I think it could be fun. And the developer for Kaiserreich, Herkel's the guy who makes these. He's made the United States so story heavy that I think even in the initial peacetime, there's going to be plenty to keep us entertained. And plus, I'm here, right? I'm entertaining, right, guys? And it's also going to be interesting to see how the world develops in the 4 different nations. In the 4 different campaigns, because one of the fun things about Kaiserreich is how things always are different in each of the. Whoops. Things always change. Internationally, right? Black Monday is in America now. We're really struggling. Coalition tickets. So the moderates, they're all trying. The Democrats and the Republicans and the progressives are going to all try to come together and form a national unity party. But no, they're not going to form the coalition because they're jerks. They don't actually care about the people. They don't care that there's this huge political crisis, and so that is why us Socialist Party of America, us combined syndicates, we're going to have to save this country that's going to need another revolution. Also, as a heads up, I'm going to be role-playing in all 4 of these campaigns to some extent, so everybody try not to get your knickers in a twist over me saying certain things, because depending on which campaign series you're watching, I'm going to be advocating executing traitors or welfare, or frickin' invading sovereign nations, or defending sovereign nations, and all sorts of stuff. I'm going to be all over the political spectrum here, so I just don't even want to hear it in the comments, alright? So just shut up now. So, let's kind of get the Air Force together, just for no reason. Get them over Washington. Increasing radicalization. With the Democrats and Republicans fighting amongst themselves as usual, more and more Americans are feeling alienated from the traditional Big Two and are flocking to the radical America First Party and Socialist Party of America throughout the country. It is looking more and more like the 1936 election will come down to Reed or Long. This is really bad. So stability is crumbling. Whoops. Father Charles Coughlin's CBS radio broadcast 3 years ago today. Father Charles Coughlin began a weekly radio broadcast in America and now has an audience of over 50 million people. He is a raving anti-Semite who claims that the syndicalist revolution in France was fomented by the Jew, and that the Berlin stock market crash is an international conspiracy of Jewish bankers, and somehow people still tune in. His hate speech will not be tolerated by the church, and the Pope is expected to make a decision whether to ask the United States government to shut down his broadcast so that his hateful message cannot reach the public. Coughlin is a danger to the public. Shut him down. Wow. Good job, United States government. Just cracking down on free speech, and the socialists grow stronger. And the Australasians went Democratic. They always do. You don't really know what's going to happen with these people until 1939, usually. Southern Democrat voters align with the AFP. The South has long been considered the heartland of the Democratic Party, and this may not be the case for much longer as polls show a massive spike in voter registration for the AFP. On a radio broadcast, Huey Long spoke at length for his plans for America, and many tuned in to listen to him speak. It seems that the American First Party is growing stronger by the day. Hooray, boys, for the red, white, and blue. So yeah, the social conservatives here, they're being redistributed. Let's take a look at the popularity here. So the totalists have about a 3.49% popularity. The syndicalists have 9.18% popularity, and the radical socialists have 16.73% popularity. So that's this area here. St. Patrick's Day flood. There was warmer than usual temperatures. There was flood stage. Worst such disaster in city's history. Local authorities have already requested federal aid. They will have to help themselves. Wow, Hoover. Just continue to dig the grave of this American government. What a jerk. First International Congress. There's going to be a series of world congresses. The mantle of Third International was taken up by the Communards after the Russian Civil War. The ideological tenor of the event promises to be very different, with syndicalist parties being the newly dominant force of the far left. Let's see. At the top of the agenda is the spread of revolution to Asia and North America, ongoing conflict in Spain, policy on colonialism, and the requirements for membership of the Third International's military alliance. All right, so I think we might do the Great White Fleet, but for right now, let's just do other stuff. None of this matters. Well, it does matter, because after the war, we're going to be too busy to do some of this stuff, but it'll be interesting to see if in at least one of these, Jabal Shammar manages to form Rashid. Oh, could we see it here? Rashid Arabia? It's tough. It's tough. Now, remember to go check out my guide on the two Arabias if you want to know how to make Rashid Arabia very easily. It's not that hard. You just got to be aggressive. That's the key. You can't just try to wear them down. 1936 Stanley Cup. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Canada or Detroit? Detroit Red Wings. Wow. Very rare. Representatives retiring. Many Republican and Democratic representatives have announced that this year will be their last year in Congress. The unprecedented rate of their retirement has given hope to the AFP and the SPA that they can win these open elections. So more moderates, more people are fleeing the moderate parties. Look at this, the Progressive Party is down to just 2.67%. Come on, Floyd Olson, join the winning team. Just take that little bitty step to the left and join the winning team. Violence between the SPA and the AFP. Oh, dang it. The supporters of these two parties are fighting, and now people are going back. Dang it! Now the Progressive Party got stronger again. Come on! Do it! Join the winning side. More AFP members are announcing congressional bids, so they're all getting a little stronger over there. Huey Long speaks. Let's see. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party were just like the old patent medicine drummer that used to come around our country. Our county. He had 2 bottles of medicine. He'd play the banjo, and he'd sell 2 bottles of medicine. One of these bottles of medicine was called High Papalorum, and another one of these bottles was called Low Papahirum. There's actually a typo here. Finally, somebody around there said, "Is there any difference in these bottles of medicines?" He said, "Oh," he said, "considerable. They're both good, but they're different," he said. "That High Papalorum is made from the bark off the tree that we take from the top down, and that Low Papahirum is made from the bark that we take from the root up. And the only difference that I have found between the Democratic leadership and the Republican leadership was that one of them skinned you from the ankle up and the other from the ear down when I got to Congress. 3 cheers to the Kingfish." Yeah, whatever, bro. So we've got that going on down there. Panama is pressuring Costa Rica. They've begun a small-scale military assault on the region of Costa Rica, which they've had a claim on for some time. Threatened intervention, so they stopped that nonsense. May Day riots. May Day. International Workers' Party. This is a holiday that the Socialist Party celebrates with numerous parades and speeches and has since its founding. Generally, things are peaceful. Of course they are. Though there have been confrontations with the police. However, this time things are more violent than normal. Clashes between the Socialists and the local police, backed up by the AFP, have occurred around the country. The question is, who's at fault? The Socialists declare that things are peaceful, till the police and the AFP goons arrive on the scene, while the AFP is saying the Socialists were deliberately looking to cause trouble and violence, and that they were defending themselves. So we are going to say, because this is the government, right? We're still playing as the government. Oh, it's the Socialist Party of America is at fault. And so the national populists will go stronger, but so will the radical socialists. If I'd said the police were at fault, the totalists would have gotten stronger. Okay, let's expand the WASPs or something. All right, we got that done. Get some industry happening around here. And radio. Actually, no, let's hold off on the radio. Let's, oh, I don't know, hell's bells. Let's get the fighter or something. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a fight. Now, I need to keep an eye on Canada because I could be wrong, but I don't think they're allowed to intervene until they go down their army branch or something. Defense Scheme 1. Yeah, I feel like they've got to reorganize the army first before they're allowed. More Socialist Party of America members are announcing congressional bids. Well, there have been a number of lawmakers from the Socialist Party of America, particularly in the Steel Belt. The 1936 election represents an unprecedented number of people registering to run for office under the banner of the Socialist Party of America, and just as many, if not more, pledging to vote for them. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Yes, progressives flock to the Socialist Party of America. Minnesota, which has long been a bastion of the progressive Senator Floyd Olson, has finally flipped. Many people are turning away from Senator Olson towards the Socialist Party of America. Various unions have held rallies for the SPA, and they have been larger than ever before. Roll the union on. Yeah, we got a nice big 3% boost to each of our branches. Look at this. Look at this. The radical socialists alone are at 20.31% popularity. This is amazing. Looks like there was a coup in Siam, and oh no, that's not going to bode well. What is going on in the rest of the world? We've got syndicalists down in France, and syndicalists down here in the Third International. Oh, he just had to screw it all up, Mosley, huh? Could have had unity, syndicalist unity. I don't know. Let's see what happens, though. Maybe we'll join him. Great heat wave going on, because some Ohioans have some high temperature of 110, also known as sweater weather in El Paso. No, I'm kidding. Death of Big Bill Haywood. Today, one of the titans of the industrial workers of the world, William Big Bill Haywood, has passed away. His death marks the passing of a torch. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn spoke at the funeral saying, "History has a long-range perspective. It ultimately passes stern judgment on tyrants and vindicates those who fought, suffered, were imprisoned, and died for human freedom against political oppression and economic slavery." Many other leaders within various union organizations, including his rivals in the AFL, also spoke at his funeral, as well as leaders within the Socialist Party of America. Jack Reed also spoke at the funeral, ending his speech with some Haywood quotes. "If the workers were organized, all they have to do is to put their hands in their pockets and they've got the capitalist class whipped. A strike is an incipient revolution. Many large revolutions have grown out of a small strike. Remember that you're fighting more than your own fight. You are fighting for the entire working class, and you must stand together." The passing of a torch. And now Jack's really in charge. He's been given the torch, and he's going to run with it. You better believe he is. Let's pick up the airports. The airports. Get it, guys? Oh, yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put Butler over here in charge. Yeah, I think this is just such a great detail how everybody stays with, you have all the commanders that everybody's going to have before the war breaks out. That's really cool. Or pretty much all of them. Paramilitary militias are forming with violence and instability sweeping the country. The AFP and SPA have begun to form various paramilitary militias, which they claim are necessary to protect the people. Seen patrolling their strongholds and party rallies, those well-armed and equipped paramilitary units have already engaged in scattered, though extremely violent, conflicts. This could turn very bad very fast. Okay. What do we want to do now? What do we want to do? What, like artillery? Yeah, let's pick this up. Sure. Still kind of waiting around. See, Butler showing his red colors. Yeah, and MacArthur's in charge, ready to do whatever awful things MacArthur does. What's going on in the rest of the world? Gone with the Wind published their novel set in the Old South during the American Civil War. It's an analogy for the strained political situation in the United States. Okay, Mongolia and Maklik are fighting their battles out here. Edward is in charge of India, technically, but it is the Social Democrats who are actually in charge. Interesting. Over here, we've got the market liberals in charge of Canada. Capitalists, you say? What's going on in the rest of the world? France went with Napoleon. He's going to the authoritarian democratic route, it seems. He went absolutism. All right. Okay, we're up to August now. What do we want to do? Air supremacy or battlefield support? I don't even know, man. Let's get the Great White Fleet. I'm just selecting things to select them. None of this matters too much. National Populists are in charge down in Argentina. See what happens with the rest of the world. Woes of the Christmas coup. Peru and Bolivia are going to form their little federation, for example. Battle of the Overpass. In Detroit, Michigan, the automotive capital of the world, Walter Reuther and Richard Frankenstein, the leaders of the United Auto Workers Association, called a general strike against the Ford Motor Company and proclaimed themselves for unionism, not Fordism, demanding higher pay and fewer hours for automotive workers. At 2 p.m. today, a photographer from the Detroit Free Press asked to take a photo of the leaders of the UAW standing on the overpass with the Ford sign in the background. While they were posing, a group of 40 men from the Ford's service department approached them from behind and began to beat them with their batons. The group then continued their attack on some of the beret-wearing women present to pass out leaflets. This will hurt us more than it hurt the unionists. Yeah, nothing like seeing a bunch of people get beat down to give you sympathy for them. Good job, Ford. All right, the Indo-Chinese Union has broken free. Garayes has completed his control of Argentina. Let's see if the Indo-Chinese Union manages to successfully pull off its independence war. With Reds in the United States eagerly awaiting the results. What's Austria doing? They've gone social conservative. Okay. There's the new Karl portrait, though, for those of you who haven't seen it. There's a few new portraits. I should have shown it earlier, but George V has a new one. Because, it's very important to have a new portrait for a guy who's only around for a week. No, I'm kidding. It looks nice. Let's pick up the... What kind of Navy stuff do we want here? I think we're going to do the battle cruisers. It is nice, though, we have focuses that we could do now before the Civil War breaks out. It gives us a little more to think about. And I really like that it's also the Navy and Air Force, which are traditionally neglected by people. And there's definitely going to be enough afterwards. Oh, Belgian Declaration of Independence. Sick of the oppression and disaster of Black Monday, independence movements throughout the country have been revolting and performing guerrilla strikes on the German army. Many fear that an independent Belgium might be short-lived, especially with tensions between the Empire and the Commune of France rising and the strategic location of the country. Good luck, Belgium. Better interim than German. So we've got an interim government in charge right now. So we'll see what happens. They've got quite a few options. They just joined right back with Germany. You could have been great, Belgium. You could have been an example for the world, the red world. So you could have come down this way, reformed that party. But no. No, you went right down to bending over, went right back to bending over and grabbing your ankles for the Kaiser. Hope you're proud of yourselves. All right, now what's going on with Norway? I wonder if Mosley decided to intervene in that country, try to turn it syndicalist. Or does he do that, or does Horner? I sometimes forget. I think they both can, but Arthur Horner is the one who usually will actually do it. Oh yeah, the Ottomans are supposed to have gotten a new focus tree. Or not a new focus tree, but I think they now have some things that got relegated to their decisions. It's my understanding that the Kaiserreich team finally has somebody who is working on the Ottoman tree again since the original guy left. And yeah, it's supposed to be a little cleaner now. It's October 25th. All right, it's almost election day. Let's work on some cruiser development. Little bit over a week to go. Get excited, everybody. Get excited. Let's take a look at the polling. Not that the polling necessarily matters. It's an electoral college system, but let's see here. Right now, we've got 7. I'm just going to round it down. 7% totalist, 15% syndicalist, 19% radical socialists, The Progressive Party just doesn't exist anymore, basically. The Republicans have 8%. The Democratic moderates under Garner are 5.92%. The Conservatives are 3.91%. So combined, they're probably at around 8% as well, just like the Republicans. The American First Party under, the Authoritarian Democrats are 19.28% popularity. America First is at 6%. And obviously the Paternal Autocrats are at 6%. And the AFP's National Populist Branch is at 12%. I leave it to you all to do the math on this to determine who is supposed to win the election according to popular vote. But I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. The 1936 presidential election, the results are finally in from what has probably been the most ideologically contested presidential election the United States has ever witnessed. None of the four major parties have secured enough votes in the Electoral College to outright win the presidency, and as a result, the House of Representatives once again has to vote on the winner of the election. This is probably not the end of our problems, but for the time being, the victory goes to Huey Long, America First. What? Huey won? But no. No. No!
Why weep or slumber, America, land of brave and true, castles and clothing for all belongs to you. Every man a king, where you can be a millionaire. But there's something belonging to others, there's enough for all people to share. When it's sun